And we are going to go ahead and get started. So the party awakes, and Malia goes down and retrieves a letter from Delgar saying that he went to check on his stuff. They have a discussion about finding work and needing gold. Nick talks about how he wants to move his friends and family to a different area of the region, but needs more gold to do so. They're called on by an assistant to Guildmaster Bramblefoot, and they go see him. Bramblefoot gives them the translation to the key they had originally retrieved. Before leaving, they stop in the merchant's quarter for some supplies and magical items. They head towards the forest and enter in. After a day's journey, they stop for the night. Sir Thomas shares his trust with the party. Raven hears some clicking sounds that nobody else perceives, and then it stops. She's worried that they are being followed, but is unable to find anything. Next day, they travel the remaining distance to the tomb and say the password, opening the barrier. Stone Guardians stand at the side and bow their heads in respect to the party. The party enters the tomb where they are met with Rommel Draxon, who informs them they are about to experience a trial, one that is a mercy and a kindness, and he then disappears and they are confronted with their own individual shadows. Finding that they cannot defeat them, some of the party gives in immediately, Raven holding out to the very end. Each member of the party then experiences different visions and confronts shadow versions of themselves. And that is where we are going to start. Let me go ahead and clear this notification. So, as each of you awake, you find yourself back in the tomb. And you see Rommel standing there, simply waiting. Taking a good look around, you can see that it's a pretty standard looking tomb. Brick walls everywhere. It doesn't seem like there's a exit per se. It seems that just as the entrance was magical, it seems as though the exit might also be magical. But he is standing there and waiting for all of you to wake up and stand up and get ready to go. Who would like to start?
I shall not be starting. I'm gonna have Nick be. I'm gonna have Nick still be passed out.
Yeah, whoever went down first starts.
Okay, I guess that is Malia then. Malia's still in the mindset that she was for her visions, where this could still be part of the trial, so I think when she wakes up, she just gives Rommel a look and then just starts looking around for information.
As you give him a look, he says, "So you have awakened. It seems you did not fare as well as some might."
In your opinion?
If you have any questions, you may feel free to do so. But as I said before, this particular trial you experienced can be seen more of a mercy and a deterrent.
I didn't see any mercy offered, so I don't know what you're expecting.
Well, I'm more expecting your allies to awaken. You came here as a party. I imagine you have some degree of trust with each other.
You obviously haven't been watching us for long, then.
Well, is this your way of saying you would like to leave?
I'm here to support the others. If they want to leave when they wake up, I will leave with them.
Very
But
well.
I'm just saying that you should place expectations on us just because of how bonded your party was.
When this tomb was originally designed, my party sought for it to be as brutal as possible, to be as merciless as possible. What lies ahead does not allow for any degree of weakness. So this particular trial, letting you see the version of yourselves that maybe you have cast aside, maybe is in the past, but one that is still very part of you, is a mercy by comparison.
What exactly were you trying to determine from that? Because all I saw, if it was a mercy, was visions that were not real. If you were trying to prepare me for the hardships that we have to face, why did you provide me with things that were not true, that I could easily see through?
The visions themselves are nothing more than a reflection of your own mind, your own past, your own futures. Things that you may eventually come to find, things that you have lost. I do not know the exact nature of what was in your visions. If you found them to be a burden or a nuisance rather than what they were intended to be, I cannot tell you more.
I didn't say they were a burden or a nuisance. I don't know what the others will react or how they experience their visions. That's their own personal thing. But the two that had happened were quite obviously not what happened. So if you were expecting me to grow stronger, I guess I'm still missing the lesson in it.
As I said before, these visions, these experiences, were meant to deter those of lesser ability. If you are simply strong enough to overcome this experience, then my work here, what I have set out to accomplish, has succeeded. As many before you have come and failed and left and never returned. But should you still find the desire to press forward, then you may.
Well, like I said, that's not my decision to make. It's the decision of the party. I will press forward with them if they wish to press forward.
And it is at this point he falls silent until the next person awakens. So, who is next? Hi there, Malachar.
Malakar's next.
Hey guys.
Since we've already started the session, I've already done the recap. But at this point, you awaken and you find Malia standing, and I imagine she's looking around the room, and you see Rommel Draxon standing there as well.
What's the matter?
It seems you have awoken.
Yes.
If you have questions about what you might have seen, about this tomb, what you experienced, you may ask them. I will do my best to answer them for you.
Smoke and mirrors.
What you experienced was personalized to you. It was a reflection of your own heart and mind.
You try to evoke fear and anger. But that won't work on me.
If you experienced fear and anger, then that is simply a representation of your past, your future, whatever it might be.
We will see about that. How are the others doing?
Well, seems Malia is still awake. Everyone else is still asleep or pretending to be asleep.
Head. Someone turn out the light.
Unfortunately, as much as I would like to comfort you, bring you this comfort, I cannot. The light does emanate from me, you see.
Okay. Right. Oh, we're still here.
As promised, you have not died.
I don't know if that's true. I'm gonna stand up, dust myself off, and then walk over to the closest still sleeping body, which I assume is Nick.
Probably, yeah.
I'm just checking to make sure you're alive and not straight up
He's
dead.
curled up into a ball currently, and it seems like he's
Awake or
still.
asleep?
You know, it's hard to tell, but you could safely assume that he's still asleep.
So you're breathing, at least.
Yeah, if you were to check, yes, he's breathing.
Anybody else feel like they just had a long night of drinking?
It's probably around this time Sir Thomas, like, his eyes open and he sits up. But you can tell he's not all there yet.
Well, let me just wake Nick up then. I'm just gonna ruffle your feathers until you wake up.
As you bring your hands onto, I'm assuming his head, right? And start to ruffle his feathers.
I think she'd start with your, like, hands.
Okay. As you work your way up, I guess, he stirs and his eyes snap open and he swats your hand away, backs up and instinctively draws his short sword. He looks deathly scared.
Whoa! Nick, it's just me.
That doesn't mean anything when some of us had visions of others attacking us.
It's something you would say. Is that something you'd really say? I can't tell anymore. How long has it been?
Calm.
By a measure of time, it has been several hours.
You put us through that.
There are worse things than what lies ahead, that lie ahead, that this trial was this was an attempt to deter you from that.
And were those visions at all real?
In a manner of speaking. These visions revealed parts of yourself to you, whether or not you saw through them, whether or not you found them to be credible. It was up to your own interpretation.
None of this still feels real. Are there walls
Yep,
of this room?
there are walls.
He slowly backs up and presses his back against the wall as he still holds out his short sword. All of you, stay away. Stay away from me.
We do have an option just to leave, Nick, if that's what you wish.
We don't trust it.
There's nothing to trust about proceeding forth. It will, as he said, it'll get worse and worse. The tests are meant to deter people from moving forward.
The one just dropped into a lake with no sense of direction. It wears up. Just anything. None of you. And he just keeps backing up into a corner.
Yeah, those visions were indeed... They felt real.
Massaging my forehead with 2 fingers. I got to get rid of a migraine. look at Nick. Maybe just sit down for a moment.
No.
Breathe.
No. No. No, listen to a word out of your mouth until we're out of this place.
Should you wish to proceed forward, you should take the key to the next trial. And he waves his hand and a pillar begins to rise up out of the ground, carrying a cylinder similar to what looks to be the core of the Stone Guardians.
If we're not united as a party, from what he already told me, we're not going to be able to proceed past the next test. If there's one of us who can't trust the others, we might as well leave.
What if we give him a few? Maybe he will calm down.
Sometime, yes. But I would like to pursue whatever ends this leads to.
And as I told him, I'm going to stand by the rest of you if whatever decision is made, regardless what your vision selves were presented to me, because I saw them as vision selves. They were not you. But I understand his pain right now. I'm just warning us that to leave him behind, it's not going to help us get to our achievement. We have to be united.
Are you saying that loud enough for him to hear?
Yep.
It's before you had finished the thought, his breathing was ragged. But as the more you spoke, the more he seemed to slow those breaths, and he slowly sinks to the ground, sat on it, but sword still raised in everyone's directions.
Mm-hmm. She'll give him his space. She's not getting closer to him. And we have to, besides, we do have to wait till Sir Thomas is more with it. But whatever each of us endured from what Remo first told me after I awoke, his test, the trial that we just took, is the kindest. The rest will not have any mercy offered to us.
I myself have my own trial beyond this point.
No.
This was simply a ward to spare the lives of those that might pursue further.
Well, if my vision says anything, death is something I am very familiar with. I will walk up to him and grab the key. And I do not fear it.
He told me that we need to be a party to move forward. If you want to go alone, I'm not going to stop you, but you're going to face challenges without being with your party. And perhaps that is part of the lesson. Even I struggled to accept in my trial. There are going to be things past that door we cannot do alone.
Perhaps. But we've come this far. It would be a shame to back down now.
Yes, I'm just saying, let's give our other allies a little time, a little space, and let's proceed together.
I will wait until a decision is made.
I don't want to back down either. I'm just trying to show a little empathy for those who react differently than I do, than we do.
We will meet them.
Mm-hmm. Is there, since we are waiting to give our other allies a little time to recover, any hints or guidance or clues to what awaits us past the door, or is that beyond your offer?
The rooms ahead, the trials ahead, are reflective of each of the different parties, the members of the party.
So there will be 6 more trials to go through?
Yes.
Are you able to tell us in order, or is that
In order,
giving away too much?
it will be Elira, Velitraz, Azara, Gruzian Kelnar, myself, King Aether, and Serena.
So Lyra is the sorcerer. Elira, and then was there a name between Elira and Garcian?
Elira Velitra.
Oh, that was her last name, yeah.
Yeah.
But then it was Garzarian after her?
Yeah. Then it's Azara.
Azara, the barbarian, okay. And then it's
And then it's
Garcian.
Gruzian Kelnar.
Okay, and then King Aether.
Then so after Gruzian Kelnar, then it's Rommel, and then it's King Aether, and then it's Serena.
Oh, okay. Perfect, thank you. So at least we can take some time to try to prepare and
Yeah.
for what's beyond the door.
What Sir Nick has to say, but he doesn't seem fully here yet.
You mean Sir Thomas?
Yes.
I was like, Sir Nick, I didn't know he got knighted.
You never know.
Eventually.
Or mayhaps.
Yep.
But you can hear a little bit of sniffling corner now, and you can hear a small voice call out to, sorry, I'm bad with names, but the specter of a man. What's his name?
Rommel.
Rommel, right? You hear a small voice call out to Rommel. Where's Needle Teeth?
Your companions and your familiars and constructs remain outside the tomb.
Why?
It is simply part of these trials. It is something that was intentionally designed. Innocent life is to be protected.
So no harm will come to them.
So long as the stone guardians stand tall, they should not be harmed.
At this point, he just kind of slumps into the corner. Sword's still raised, but
I'm gonna.
We
start
will need
reading
your
from guidance.
intelligence. Sorry, Malachar. Go ahead.
No, that's it. I'm just gonna start writing for guidance.
Okay. Malia
said
does note
before.
over to Nick that she was just going to say that we'll need your intelligence and your magical awareness to move forward. We can't do this without you.
his hand was going a little bit limp before, getting a bit tired from holding up the sword, but as you approach, it kind of steels himself and raises
Oh,
it up a bit more.
She wasn't approaching. She wasn't approaching. She was just mentioning it from. She's giving you your space.
Let's say for flavor, take like a step, and he does that.
Okay.
But he kind of gives a not a fully intentional scowl. That's not what you were saying before.
In my vision, Nick, I had fallen to the stone golem when we were trying to retrieve the heartstone. You know what I saw? I saw each and every one of you not caring about the fact that my body was laying on the ground. Instead, each and every one of those shadow visions of yourself took items off me, took everything that was on my person away, and all they had to say, even though I was dead in a way, was that they had to retrieve the stolen things that they felt were rightfully theirs. Whatever the vision, shadow versions of ourselves did to you in your vision is not real.
No, what you did.
What did I do?
You did things for months. It felt like months. It's what you said. It's what you said.
What did I say?
It wasn't our words, Nick.
Trying to Sniper just kind of drops the sword on the ground and clasps the sides of his head with his hands. No, no, no.
I think
Stay away.
because this is exactly what they were trying to do, Nick. You're the kindest person in our party. You were always there for us. The reason I was able to see my through my vision so quickly is because I knew in my heart that the true Nick wouldn't be doing the things the shadow Nick was doing.
His breathing picks up a pace. That might be true how you see me. It still feels like I'm traveling with a bunch of strangers now.
And that's what they wanted you to feel, to break your spirit. We're not strangers.
It's
You
like
have my
logic
doubts.
told you. Nothing more.
I don't see a way out of this. So, I have no choice but to move forward anyways. Just stay in front of me. Stay in front of me. You go first into the next room. We'll wait for Thomas to come back to himself, but just leave me be.
From what I understood from what was told to me when I first woke up, you do have a choice. If you do not want to proceed with us because you cannot trust us anymore, then just ask Rommel to allow you to leave, and he'll let you to leave.
After what I've seen, I don't want to move forward, but I know I have to.
Haven't I
Please.
always stood in
Like,
front
even
of
if I
you
didn't
with my
care.
shield?
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, of course. Haven't I always stood in front of you with my shield, Nick? Haven't I always picked you up when you fell down?
You still don't know other things. Maybe I haven't forgiven yet.
Rommel, is he able to leave if he does not want to proceed forward with us?
If you would like to leave, certainly. And should you be able to translate the key yourselves, you may also proceed forward.
I'm gonna take a look at this key and figure out what exactly he means by translate it.
Just like the other key, it looks to have abyssal letters written along the sides of it, and if you were to try to use comprehend languages, it would just be utter gibberish.
Is there anything else I can do to check out what this is?
I mean, like I said, it's just like the other ones. It's you would probably likely need to translate it to figure out what the passphrase is moving forward.
Are there any words on this one that are the same as the one we had prior?
I can check real quick, but I mean, it's probably just like the N, hang on. Let me just actually just go over to it, but it's probably just like transitive words and that aren't relevant to the main bulk of it. Let's see. Go down here. Yeah, it's just there's nothing. There's no similar wording.
I don't understand any of this. And that being said, there may not be a way forward until we do.
Well, that brings back... How many things do we need to get translated that will have to keep on coming back to this place, Rommel?
Each layer will have its own key.
So if we have to leave this place to get a key translated because it's not in a language any of us understand, and we come back, are we reset at stage 0 or are we set at the stage we were at?
You will simply pass through here again. You will not encounter the same trials.
Well, I guess the only option is for us to take this key back to our translator then. Then maybe that will give Sir Thomas and Nick more time to decide what they want to do.
Did we identify what language that is?
Abyssal, the same as the other key.
Yet it's all nonsense. It can't be helped.
Maybe we should ask Assyrian for an Abyssal translator, so we're not always going back and forth.
Well, I can translate the words themselves, but it's a little more complicated than that. It's almost as if it's encoded.
If you're able to say the words, and they seem to be in code, maybe working with somebody who understands code, we can make sense of them?
And that is Assyrian. But it's gonna be at least another week. Unless we're all on a collective decision, I can attempt to say the words.
Sure.
Nick? Nick? Tragedy?
Is your mic functioning, Nick?
No, it is. Sorry. I was trying to read up something. I don't exactly have anything to help here. I'm sorry. Could you? I don't want to ask you to repeat. I'm just gonna say that Nick is kind of spacing out at this point.
Oh, okay. Well, we have two people dissociating now.
It's about this time that you know, Sir Thomas seems to be reacting in a way that's not related to dissociating.
At this point, Sir Thomas is going to start twitching, and he's going to slowly stand up. And as the life comes back to his eyes, he's going to fixate on the group. And he's immediately going to stare at all you through his eyebrows, with nothing but an angry scowl on his face, and he's simply going to say, "Are you another part of my trial? Or are you the friends I've made?"
Who's to say?
You are
Shall
not
we
helping
continue?
your case. If I remember anything from what I just experienced, whether that be lies or truth, my fractured mind is not one to be messed with. Malachar.
weren't-
Sorry.
We
I
weren't the
just-
ones to give you the trial. We all experienced something where we saw shadow versions of the others.
You speak sense like you are, Malia. But how can I be so sure?
You can't in this place. This place is a continuous trial.
And the fact
That
that
was-
we're having this conversation at all should be proof that we are who we are. Did the
I just-
visions you had of us just a moment ago stop to have a conversation?
Well, stop, yes. To have a conversation, merely to wait for them to try to stab their steely knives into me.
I just hand you that 150 gold liquor bottle. You had a sip earlier.
And to be honest, were we actually an enemy, would you still be alive?
Oh. And he's gonna look at the liquor that Malachar just handed to him, and he's gonna smirk. And he's gonna down like a solid fourth of it at this point. As he rotates a little bit, he shakes his head and simply going to say, "Believe me, you all would be down faster than I would go. What's with our friend here, Nick? Is he okay?"
Our
We
shadow
have-
selves also betrayed him. He's very upset right now. Apparently, it was over a period that felt like months to him.
Oh. Poor boy. I'm going to visit him in a moment. Where is this ghost man? I have some questions that I'd like answered.
I
Rather
will
than
answer
left
whatever
unsaid.
questions you have. And you look up, you see that Rommel's simply standing there.
Oh, scare the living daylights out of me. Listen. What I saw, was that the truth of what I went through?
It was a
Is that-
reflection of your own heart.
I'm so sorry. I don't speak in magical terms of clerics and wizards. Can you please give to me in plain common?
You were shown things that were parts of your past, parts of your present, and parts of your future. Or what might be your future. Whether or not that comes to pass is entirely up to you.
And I am to assume the great big demon with multiple mouths and heads in its stomach was also part of a possibility.
It might be a part of you.
And what we saw in those visions, is it all just part of our imagination?
Whether or not it's part of your imagination. I do not know all of the magics that went into this trial. I certainly had some assistance from Elira in building it. So whatever divination magic she might have imbued within these specters.
Then I'd like to talk to her.
Well, she is the next trial, so I imagine you could speak with her.
Do you think she might have any comments on who my father was? Do you know who my father was? Were you able to see what I went through?
Well, that depends. Was he alive when we were alive?
Quite frankly with you, I don't know. He never quite aged, I don't think. Always had that same youthful stare. Creepy, actually. It's possible. The Moor name over in Velethor. Have you ever heard of it?
What is Velethor?
I see not. Okay. Right. If it's up to me, here, Raven, I would say we do our best to try to pass forward. I'm not sure what discussions you may have had, but I'd much rather get through here all at once than have to come back. I fear if we might have to come back, we might be having unwanted visitors. If that makes any sense.
I would say so, considering we were followed here.
Great. Today just keeps getting better, he says as he grabs the bottle that's still in his hand from Malachar, goes to try to take a swig, but shakes his head, puts it in his pocket, and then marches over to Nick and kneels in front of him.
As you, on your approach, you hear muttering grow louder and louder, and as you are taking your final steps before your kneel, you can hear the word "dirty trick" over and over and over again.
What word? What are you repeating over and over again?
Dirty trick is what he's saying.
Birdie trick.
Dirty. D-R-D-I-R-T-Y.
Dirty trick. Okay.
Yeah.
Dirty trick? Tell me, did they also stab you with steely knives? Mine sure did.
He had not been able to sense that you approached, and he stumbled back somehow even further into the corner of the room with his hands on the wall, and he looks at you with nothing but fear. Wait for me.
I'm gonna slowly kneel down where I was. I'm gonna take out that bottle of alcohol and I'm gonna set it next to me and sit down. And I'm simply going to say, well, as much as I'd love to give you peace of mind that I am not a decoy, I'd much rather actually share with you what I had seen. If you are willing to trust that, then be my guest. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be blabbering to you.
No! You can feel the struggling from him, but there's nowhere for him to go. He feels cornered.
I'm going to sigh heavily as Sir Thomas winces, grabs the top of his nose, almost as if he had glasses on. And he's going to drop everything, and he's simply going to look at Nick, and he's going to start to whisper, Nick, I'm about to tell you something that I have not told anyone else. I understand my tone may be different, and I understand that you might not want to trust me. But, with that being said, the space we're in right now was meant to test him, and I managed to come out unscathed. Well, he's here. But not from you, not from our shadow selves. From what was in there, if I'm to believe this is real, you all plotted with my father. From Velethor from the very start. To kill me. Was a sacrifice or not, no idea, but I do believe I handled it quite well. Tired, but well, I lived somewhat. And then I was running through Velethor again. Big demon chasing me. The streets themselves were crumbling around me. Screaming my name, almost as if pending doom was upon me. I felt it on the back of my neck. You ever get that feeling where your hairs on the back of your neck stand up? What, I guess in your case, feathers? Yeah. Haunting. But and he's gonna swallow real quick. And he's going to stop his speech, and he's going to drop his accent. And he's gonna mess with his hair, and he's gonna let it fall down to his left side, and he's gonna simply tell Nick, without any more jokes, no more accents, no more bullshit. I am Sir Thomas, More, Sir Thomas Nevermore, but you can call me Tom. I'm not going to speak to you any other way. You earned my trust. I gave you those bolts for a reason, friend. I don't wish to keep up the charade. You told it to me best. Maybe sometimes I need to look around, goodbye me for once in a while. This group, if I am to trust you, are all the real deal, he says as he looks around behind him, then looks back. He's simply going to say, I at least know whatever lies next, I can trust. And you, with your genius mind, saving me multiple times. I'm sorry that whatever you went through was so traumatizing. Believe me, it sickens me that I, even in shadow form, may have had any ill will towards you. You are nothing but good. And he's gonna slowly reach into his pocket as he reaches for that winking coin, and he's gonna flip it over to him on the ground in front. And he's simply going to say, but if you're willing to take a chance on me, on us actually being real, you'll see that's a good deal. He says as he's going to wink very badly and pointing over to the coin. But
And you'll see the coin wink.
it's all your choice, friend. I mean you no harm, as they do not. But if you need time to grapple with that, I'll be in. Just know, I've dealt with your entire situation there, and trying to scratch it away, you can't escape from nothing. It'd be much smarter to actually try to take down the biggest person in the yard, which would be Malachar. That way you can actually present yourself as a threat and somebody whose words need to be taken seriously. Just saying. You're not going to get nowhere going in circles in your mind. The only circles you should be doing is around us. And with that said, he stands up, look over at Nick for a moment, stands there and just looks the other way towards Malachar and the rest of the gang.
What did you
As he's
say about
looking-
Malachar? Didn't quite catch that.
Oh no, he's looking towards the rest of y'all. With his back turned to Nick.
As your back is turned, you can hear his small voice. Any kinder words in the betrayal? I think I break. I don't think that's what this place is for. Sir Thomas,
Yes?
stay on my back. And he pulls himself up from the floor. He's going to meekly step forward, not looking back at Thomas, but slowly, inch by inch, moves towards the center of the room. Who has the key?
I do.
He's going to slowly approach Raven, and he is going to gingerly hold his hands out for you to place it into his palms. The key, please.
Here you go. The only
He
thing I was
nearly
able-
winces as you hand it to him. Go ahead.
The only thing I was able to get from it was phrase. Broken eggshells in the haunted kitchen. Pass by the dinner.
And as you say this, Ronald's going to start chuckling.
Is there a thieves' cant to that phrase?
No.
Okay.
Sir Thomas is gonna look up and he's gonna say, what's so funny there, ghost man? Is there an inside joke I'm not a part of?
The message is likely encoded.
Yes, it is a phrase that Elira and I spoke to each other quite often. It was a rather humorous event that we have taken that phrase from.
What happened? If you don't mind my asking. Seeing as we're gonna be stuck here for a while, I'd love to actually, what, happened to you?
Well,
What was this funny story?
well, when Elira had first joined the party, we were tasked with cleansing a manor that was haunted. And when we went into the mansion, we found a whole great many ghosts that were preparing dinner for themselves. I mean, it's just, they seemed harmless at first, chopping invisible food, stirring pots of nothing, laying out plates. But, when she decided to sit at the table, the entire kitchen came to life in a frenzy, and they were hurling knives, plates, food at us, and they screamed in horror as if they saw their own deaths for the first time. And the only way out was we had to step carefully across a whole great many broken eggshells that littered the floor near the kitchen doorway, and pass by the dinner table. We barely were able to make it out alive, and I almost got my head taken off by a cleaver. But, since that time, we used that phrase where a single step would unleash chaos.
And that is what's waiting for us past the door, since her trial's next.
Treading carefully.
Mm-hmm.
Malia, do you think that story may have any influence on the code, possibly? Seeing as you're expert at cracking things?
She was basically telling us that her trial would be to step carefully or create chaos.
But I mean to actually get in there, the spoken word part.
I think we just use the key on the door, and the code on the key is going to tell us what's past the door. I don't think it's like the key that had to get past the barrier.
Is there a door?
There is no door. He has not summoned one.
I think we have to be ready to move forward and use the key as a party, and then he will bring it to us.
Right. Well, that settles it. Gang, are we all ready to possibly proceed forward into whatever next hellscape might await us?
Ready is all everything.
Good. Raven.
I've been waiting for all of you to make the decision. I'm ready to pursue this.
Malachar, our knight in gothic armor.
I wear no armor, but not.
The shield. And finally, Malia.
As I told Rommel, I'll move forward with the rest of you. So we're
Right.
moving forward.
That settles it then. Well, Mr. Ghostman, I'd say we're all in agreement that we can move forward. If you have a ghost door to make, or should I punch a hole for us to unlock a key hole with?
Says you can certainly try. He waves his hand as a door appears. There does not appear to be any place to put the key in.
All right, I like how you think. He's Sir Thomas is gonna walk up to the door. He's gonna try punching a keyhole.
Okay, roll a d4 for me.
All right, I'm rolling a d4. Hold on.
I am not certain that is.
I got a 3.
Okay, you
Well,
take
make
3
it go.
damage.
Oh, come on.
Just
Well,
say the phrase on the key, like we had to say the phrase on the core.
Sir Thomas is gonna shake his hand. He's gonna be like, "Right, should have thought of that. Sorry, I get excited when I get to punch things."
Go on.
Broken eggshells in the haunted kitchen pass by the dinner table. Is it table? Fuck, I don't know.
There is no
I
response.
hope that's in character.
I hope so too.
It is.
Nice.
Yeesh, Raven, didn't realize you were the potty mouth.
Okay, so seeing that there's obviously magic tied to these things, Nick is going to cast a spell here. And
Okay.
I'm not quite sure how to bring it up in the thing for everybody to see the effects, but Nick casts Identify.
Alright, and what are you identifying?
You touch an object throughout the spell's casting. If the object is a magic item or some other magical object, you learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement and how many charges it has, if any. You learn whether any ongoing spells are affecting the item and what they are. If the item was created by a spell, you learn that spell's name.
Okay. The key itself was formed by Shape Earth, but it has no other magical properties beyond that.
It just... the words on it don't even count in that.
Nope, because they have no specific magical purpose.
Here's an idea. Why don't we just try to bring the key to the door? Maybe it's an automatic open lock. I don't know. They make weird things nowadays.
You will need to have it translated and find the phrase that Elira hid within this phrase.
Nick puts the key back into Raven's hands.
However you decided to translate the other key, you might need to do so again.
Great.
That's what I was worried about. So annoying. It can't be helped. Well, it is another week anyway.
It should make sense considering we made this tomb in an effort to make it as inconvenient as possible to access what is contained.
Doing an excellent job of that, might I add. Excellent.
Thank you.
That. You know what? Yes. Good job, Ghostman. Really good job. Raven, remember those possible unwelcome guests I mentioned before? You said we were followed?
Yes, we were.
So I am to assume then that if we go outside, we're going to meet these unlikely compatriots.
It's possible, but I wouldn't say that with 100% certainty.
Well, looks like we're stuck. Another week. My word.
It's only a week.
I'm a very impatient man. But if it must be a week, it must be a week then. Shall we be off then?
Sure.
Can't be helped. We'd like to leave.
Of course. And he waves his hand, and a door on the other side of the room opens up. And it's swirling with a white magical energy.
Sir Thomas is going to go over to the ghost man real quick, and in a more hushed tone, he's going to speak with him. Hey, I have a genuine question, more for me, not the rest of the group.
Yes.
That vision I saw, something about it scared me. Cultists with my father. Would there be any way of me possibly being able to find out if that's true? What he might possibly worship if that's the case? If there's any truth to that?
I would not be able to provide you insights on that.
Would you at least be able to bless me?
We have been in this tomb for about 4,000 years. Whatever may have transpired out there is not something we have not direct knowledge of.
Wonderful. Would you at least be able to bless me and the rest of the party That way we're not so inflicted by demonic events come they occur.
Do you wish me to cast Calm Emotions?
Pauses. No. More so just a cleric's blessing, that way in case we encounter anything bad. We may go forth in such a good way. I am. He's gonna tap his head as he
If
says,
you need a
I like good things.
blessing, I can provide that.
Thank you. Multiple would actually be in order. I just like to have a good head about things. Luck and all that, you know. Good tidings.
Well, and he casts Bless on you. Says, hopefully this is what you are after.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And he's gonna return to the party, and he's gonna go behind Nick, and he's gonna slowly put a hand on his shoulder, and he's gonna let him know, right here, pal.
Maybe not that close.
Alright. And are you guys exiting?
I am.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright. And if you guys want to open your maps, you exit the tomb. Oh, hang on, let me make it so that all of you are visible again. There we go. And you find that the Stone Guardians are still standing there in position.
Mick hurries over to Needleteeth and immediately mounts him. And as he does this, you could hear something of a hatch open and tinkering ensuing.
What are you doing there?
Scan the tree line to make sure we're not being watched by anything.
Okay. Do a perception check.
$22.
It doesn't seem as though you are being watched by anything.
Looks like we are clear for now.
Do we go back into town then? Report our findings and see what else we can come up with.
We need to hand this to Sarian, so what other choice do we have?
Right.
None. Absolutely none.
Well, we should get a move on then, shouldn't we? The town is a ways away.
I always move at the party's pace, so proceed.
And now start leading the charge out.
Okay. And as you travel into the forest, and leaving the tomb behind, you take note of the fact that it's actually beginning to get dark again. It has been several hours. Night is about to come upon you.
Should we make camp, or should we simply continue on and get to town?
Difference doesn't make.
We're gonna have to make camp before we reach town anyway.
Fair enough. Well, let's get started. I'll take first watch once we're done.
Okay, you guys are able to successfully set up camp. No particular issues.
I
And
will assist you.
Oh, crap! I think I forgot a thing. Did I?
Go what?
Oh no, never mind. I was wondering if I forgot a question, but no. All the other questions were answered, so the one I had was good.
Alright. Nick isn't going to exactly hide anything, but he stays up the entire night. He does not. He does not get a wink of sleep. So I will add level exhaustion.
Sir Thomas
Yeah.
is gonna go over to Malachar, and he's gonna rush over, a little bit in a panic. Malachar, I really must stop coming to you in a panic, but there's something I must discuss with you.
No worries. I'm always here if you need me.
Demons. Great, bad ones. How many do you know? Possibly of Great Old One, Warlock packs, anything like that.
Not too much. All I know about demons is that they are chaos. And we despise chaos. They can't be trusted. They have no order. They are not loyal.
I fear my father might have been in with them. That entire experience was very eye-opening. I always remembered I ran as soon as I figured out what I did, but if what I saw was to be believed, it might have been more to it than that. I might not have been able to escape immediately. My father might have been a cultist of some sort. And thinking back about how young he's... I feel the worst. And he's gonna shake his head as he, like, taps the back of his neck. I hear this infernal sound. Listen. Please. I need your assistance since you are the cleric, or the best one to know about demon knowledge, to my knowledge. I want to know what my father was messing with.
Can you repeat what he said, or is there a symbol you remember?
Sir Thomas is going to reach in his pocket, and he's going to wince as he pulls out a very worn silver insignia of his family's clan. It's worn down to the point where some of the metal's starting to warp around it, but you could still make out the general symbol of it. This is about all I have. It's, not the best I know, but something. No?
Can I roll a religion check on that?
sure.
Actually, I'm gonna enhance my intelligence to have it. Yeah, religion is intelligence to have advantage on that roll. It's terrible. That's a 16.
Yeah, based off of his description, you don't recognize what it might be.
Not even if I can link it to the abyss or the hells or anything.
Nope.
I can't identify that symbol, but I do speak infernal. If you remember something he said, I might be able to translate it if it was infernal and not abyssal.
Just the thing, well, you know, as a kid must do, whenever they find their parents doing something they probably shouldn't, they run. The only thing I ever remember him saying is, "This is for the cause. This must happen. It's time you've learned about this." On and on and on, and I fear I might have even been lying to myself. about what actually happened. Protect my own noggin. Some way, but... It's not much, I know, but it's something. If I can think of anything else, I will let you.
Could I link this to an infernal ritual to some sort?
I mean, you could. You likely wouldn't be able to do so.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I can't help you much there at the moment.
It's okay. As long as there could be some assistance. That's all we need. And Sir Thomas is gonna back out.
If you remember more, I'm always here.
Thank you. I need to mull over some things. I'll take the first 2 watches, actually. You just come on the third, whenever it's time for the 3rd shift, okay?
I don't think I'm gonna sleep much tonight. I think probably none of us will catch much sleep. I will try to help you with the watch as good as I can.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And Sir Thomas is gonna leave and to go do his watch.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit next to him and quietly.
Well, Thomas, you do see that Nick is kind of wandering off in a direction, and Malia also seems to be looking in that direction.
Fucking hell. Malachar, stay here. I'm gonna go see what he's doing. And he's gonna jump up and go walk.
Are they in danger of leaving my vision zone?
Yes. Unless you have dark vision.
No, but I would cast light on my shield for the watch. Let me check how much light that gives.
Okay.
20-foot radius dim light, an additional 20 feet lesser light. Yeah, 20 big, 20 low light.
Well, yeah, no, it seems as though Nick is walking outside of that radius, so...
I was trying to snake.
Sir Thomas is gonna follow behind him, trying to see if he can be stealthy at first, but the further he gets, he's just gonna pick up pace and start running after him.
And, Malachar, I need you to read your DMs.
Yes.
So...
Wait. That was wrong. That was a check. My safe is better.
Well, seems as though it's the purpose has been defeated.
I didn't hear him say anything. I'm more concerned about the Nick over here. What he's doing.
Well... So... Malia is looking further into the forest. Thomas is heading in the direction of Nick. Nick is heading into the forest.
Am I able to make an Arcana check on what I'm seeing?
Sure.
And Raven is sound asleep.
Glad someone's getting some
Nice.
shut-eye.
I guess I'm not making any sense of it because I got another 9.
You chalk this up to be an effect of the forest.
Is it weird that Lilliath is like the least disturbed by the visions and is just able to sleep like a baby?
No.
I don't need any sleep. I trance.
I
I'm
know.
not disturbed by my visions at all.
I'm not talking about little old elf girl. Okay.
Everybody else was going, oh, I'm not sleeping because I was disturbed by the visions. I wasn't disturbed by my visions either, so.
I mean, I did tell him to, like, make it the worst thing possible, and he made it the worst thing possible that I could have considered. So Sir Thomas is going to get as much sleep as he can, but it's going to be
So,
a little.
Nick,
Yeah.
what are you
Yeah.
at this point? What are you doing?
He's just looking around.
You're just looking around.
That's all.
Okay.
He's
Well-
trying to find the source of whatever it is.
Okay. So, as you get further into the forest, you do see a figure simply standing in the middle of what looks to be some stone ruins.
I don't think we're out of the temple, guys.
And there, let me go ahead and look.
He's just going to try to see who it might be from a distance.
Okay. No, wrong one. I didn't prepare this as much as I should have. My bad. So, you see, you don't necessarily recognize what this figure might be. But, you know, you see it. This whatever this figure is turns and looks at you with a certain degree of curiosity.
He's going to simply stare from a distance. Was trying to do it sneakily, but I guess they just saw him. But he's just going to stay in the bushes, try to obscure himself.
And you can see that it's actually looking right at you. It's very keenly aware of your presence. It says, aren't you a little one? And you're gonna see
He
his
does
head
not respond.
begin to turn and tilt an uncomfortable amount as it begins to take steps towards you.
Nick places his hand on his teeth, short sword, and is mentally calling over needle teeth. So, Sir Thomas, you can start hearing heavy steps, if you could call it that, behind you.
Oh my lord, what the fuck's going on? You better have a good reason for this, Nick. He says as he's trying to run over.
And this figure begins to tilt its head the other way as it looks directly at you, Sir Thomas. Ah, we have another visitor. It seems we are close.
I'm so sorry for you, strange man, but you have a very punchable face. Do you mind explaining yourself, or do we want to cut the bullshit?
Well, you don't seem to be our target. So...
Excuse me? Target?
where is she?
Sir Thomas is gonna, like, kind of pat over Nick, and he's gonna kind of put him behind him. And he's gonna look over him and say, "Do not say a word. play this dumb. You don't know anyone except us, okay?
Assuming he's saying that quietly. So,
Very.
Nick doesn't nod. He doesn't give any kind of leeway to any kind of gesture. He just simply stares forward.
Wherever she
Who you're
is.
after?
We are after one called Lilliath,
Oh?
and we will find her.
You see, that's so intriguing because I've never met anyone named that in my life. Now, do you have other business here? Would you like to, say, move on, or rather, let me punch you in your face? You have a very punchable face. I'm going to repeat that.
Well, you could certainly try.
Can I identify if this person is any type of thing other than human?
He looks humanoid, for sure.
Well, of course.
But there's something
But
off. He doesn't look... He's certainly not human.
Would I be able to tell if he has any relation to, like, vampires or cultists or anything like that?
He does not.
Nards. Well, that's all my knowledge.
And you're gonna hear him...
I try to identify.
You're gonna use identify?
No. I would have to touch whatever creature for that. But no, I just want to try to actually identify from a distance.
You have never seen this type of being before in your life.
All right.
This is otherworldly, Nick. I do not trust him.
He's gonna turn his head 180 degrees, and you're gonna start hearing clicking sounds. And then you're gonna hear a rustling movement as a few more things pop out.
Nick, this is bad. What do we do here? If we fight this, I can possibly do something. But I do not recommend we take this. We are outnumbered here, even with needle teeth.
Being outnumbered never stopped me before, he says to himself, and he draws his sword and he just tries to bide his time until needle teeth can arrive.
Sir Thomas is going to look down. He's going to say, I like your spunk. Follow my lead. And if we attack the targets I make prone. Let's clean this up quick.
It's stay flexible. Well, you got
Yes.
plans.
These plans can shift in an instant. Follow my lead. He says as Sir Thomas is going to slowly approach him. And he's simply going to begin to talk in a different type of tone now. Instead of where it was before, kind of passive-aggressive, he's going to clear his throat and he's going to say, I do sincerely apologize. I did not get a good look at you before. You said you were looking for someone named Lilith, Lilkaktar. What was the name you were looking for?
Lilliath. She might go by another name.
May I know what that name is, so I may at least try to help you?
Well, it seems as though she's not being very clever with her names this time around.
This
might go
time
by
around?
Raven.
Ah. Sir Thomas is going to, like, behind his back, kind of just, like, make a down, like a thumbs down behind his back to let Nick know. And he's simply going to say, huh. You know, I may have actually met someone by that name before. I remember, I think over in Velethor, where I'm from. Have you heard of the Velethor before?
You must take me for a fool.
That I do. I was hoping that would work. Now I do have to
Has
ask.
needle teeth showed up yet?
Yeah, sure, Needleteeth has showed up. Where is Malia and Malakar at this point?
I'm assuming I'm still at the camp because nobody has told me that Nick has gone off by himself, so...
Okay. Malakar, where are you at this point?
Like I said, I would have followed the Thomas as much as I can without leaving eyesight of the camp. If I would have to leave eyesight of the camp, then I would stay in place. So I.
Okay. So yeah, this is not within eyesight of the camp.
Could I hear anything in the dark?
No.
Okay.
Well, tragedy looks like it's an army of 2.
3 if you get needle teeth.
Yeah.
I think we got this. I think we could take this.
We'll be fine.
Maybe combat noises I will hear.
Here, this is
Yeah, if we get loud enough.
Oh, it's gonna be loud. I'm gonna be punching. I'm assuming whatever these are, they crack, so they're gonna be making loud noises.
Okay. So as Needle Teeth approaches, Nick is going to mount it.
Okay. Yeah. Let me get
And
this right.
just have to quickly check something.
And the figure's his uncomfortable smile is going to turn into a frown, and he's going to step forward, and he's going to throw a strike at you. And I need you to roll initiative.
I'm assuming that's at me.
Yes.
Oh, I got an 11. Oh no. Yes. That's awesome. That is awesome. We take those.
I will most certainly take that. Yeah. That was
I
an
saw my
excellent
reaction.
plan.
So I will probably be fine. Saw my reaction. I don't think he could kill me in one turn.
And 11. Okay. So he... Why is this not going? There we go. Let me get to the actual character sheet.
Oh no, this was worse than I thought.
And... he gets a... He's going to roll the strike. Well, I guess he gets a 10 to hit, which does not land. And he takes 1 embarrassment damage.
I'm gonna point at him and laugh. I'm simply going to say, "You're frowning. Why? Because you suck. That's horrible. Whenever it comes around, believe me, your head's going to be knocked into the ground, buried, and there's going to be a tree planted where you are. Let's get this started."
Threats from you. That's adorable.
Says the one who failed and hit himself in his toe.
Well, I guess this is happening.
Not like you gave us much of a choice.
Alright. It is Nick's turn.
Happening. So Nick is going to hold on to Needle Teeth as he yells at Sir Thomas to move to the side, even if he can or can't. But Needle Teeth is going to start charging forward, and Nick will yell, "Ramming speed!" And and Needle Teeth will charge at twice his typical speed, which is now 80 feet. And he is going to charge into... He's going to charge into the front man there. Hold on, I have to measure
charge
this
into
out.
Splinter, or which one?
He's going to try to charge into Splinter and then Husk.
Okay.
Right, so hold on.
Wait, hold on. Why is one called Orange?
That's a
That's-
great
who knows?
question.
That is an awesome name.
So that is a D12. There we go. Oh wait, no, I have to roll to hit first, and that is awful. It's not gonna hit the first guy, but as the man, I assume, moves out of the way,
Yep. He's gonna sidestep it.
Needle Teeth will then try to ram into Husk. That is, 15.
That one also misses, and he sidesteps.
Really? Okay. So, Nick is going to take his action, and use a feat mounted strike. While mounted, you have advantage on attack rolls, on unmounted enemies. And he's going to swing his short sword at the person on the drive-by.
Okay. And because Needle Teeth can only charge in a straight line, he is going to hit that wall there.
Of course, yeah.
And his leg is going to pop off.
All right.
Okay.
The short sword swing, I assume, lands.
And then an 8th. Yep, it's going to land. So right there. And as the leg pops off, lightning arcs begins to arc off of this thing. And what was the...
That was 6 damage.
So it takes 4 damage to itself. And you are going to take 5 damage. Lightning damage.
I was planning on having Nick hop off it before.
Oh.
He did collide.
Okay. Yeah, so where is he hopping off then?
Right here.
Okay. Alright. It's not showing me anything that you're doing as far as moving your character token.
Oh, there we go.
I moved it myself.
Oh.
Okay.
So, but yeah, you do.
Hold on,
you
let
end
me
up.
reload.
So you do 6 damage to Husk.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was planning on having him drop off there.
Well, Splinter is gonna try again to strike at Thomas here.
Going back for round 2. Must say, pretty bold.
I'm assuming a 13 does not hit.
It does not hit, no.
Okay.
I'm gonna point his face and laugh again. Would you like to try to go for 3?
Husk at this point is going to attack. Let me get to their is gonna try to attack Nick here.
Yep.
Does a dirty 20 hit?
It's not going to because he uses shield as a reaction.
Okay. Alright, but you see that this thing is like reaching out with its claws and tries to strike at you.
The claws hit the shield before it can sink into any feathers or flesh.
And then you can see that it's going to begin making some whirring sounds and clicking sounds. And Twigs is going to move in this direction to attack Sir Thomas.
Oh, we have another one. Come on, let's see what you can do.
Alright, does a 27 hit?
Oh yeah, that hits, yeah. That hits.
And you are going to take max damage. 16 damage?
I'm gonna use my reaction here and I'm gonna deflect the attack. Let's see what that does. 13 damage. So 13. So I deflect 13 of the damage. So how much damage will I be taking then?
3.
3. Yeah.
Much better. Ooh, nick me a little. Now we're getting somewhere.
Okay, and now it is Sir Thomas's turn.
All right. Well, seeing as he's currently cornered, Sir Thomas is gonna do something funny, and he's simply going to reach into his shirt, grab his flask that he got while he was out. He's going to drink 2 charges of it. Let's see here. Let me go back to my inventory. Yeah. So then whenever I end up drinking the 2 charges, my next 2 attacks now will make them prone if they fail their save, which will be a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
And that's going to be my bonus action. So then as my normal action, I'm going to flurry of blows.
So which ones are you... So you doing it on both?
Yes, both. First one is going to be going over at Splinter, right?
Okay.
And does a 24 hit on Splinter?
It does.
All right, let me roll damage for him.
Let's see. So he got
max damage, and he's prone.
Well, no, that's not the entire story here. So he got a 19
on his next save.
Yes.
Let's see here. Okay, let me see. Amulet, Drunken Swing. It will be 8 plus my proficiency bonus, plus my wisdom modifier. So that'd be 2 plus. Yeah, no, he wins. He doesn't get knocked prone.
Okay, but you do 9 damage to him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now that's a hit. Now watch this one. And since I did that, I now have disengage as well, right? So I can safely move past them. So I'm going to now, let's see here, as well as my extra 10 feet of movement, I'm going to go ahead over here, and I'm going to help out my good friend Nick. And I'm going to run around, and I'm going to multi-attack Husk. Well, expending 1 point of focus in order to do another flurry of blows.
All right.
I'm assuming a 14 doesn't hit.
That does not hit.
But a 24 does.
That one does. Yes.
Okay, sweet. Clear that. All right, let me go ahead and roll damage. Ooh, 8 damage to him.
Okay.
Does this also count for making him prone as well, since that one actually hit or no?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm knocking Hush straight into the wall. But I managed to find you.
Yeah, that one's on a step, but sure. So Orange is gonna come over, and is going to attack you from behind, Sir Thomas.
Okay.
So that one's gonna be a 16.
16 does hit, yes.
Okay. All right, and it's gonna be 15 damage.
Would I be able to take another reaction since it's now my turn? Or my turn just passed?
I will allow that, yeah.
Alright. I deflected all the damage! Awesome! Well, guess what I'm doing? I'm gonna expend a focus point, and I'm going to now deflect and redirect that attack.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and deflect it back on Orange to not only hit him, but also send him flying backwards. 13 damage.
Okay. That's actually fucking sizable. Damn.
And you're able to knock him back, and you see his head like kind of pop off and land on the grass, and he's like stumbling around trying to look for it.
These things just get freakier, Nick. Let's end this quick, please. And that's going to be everything that Sir Thomas can do.
Okay. Well, it's now Needleteeth's turn, and Nick's turn.
My bad. Alright, so... got health to work with. Fuck it. I'm gonna use my main action to have, Needleteeth... Yeah, pick himself up.
Okay.
And, charge over to Orange as they're trying to get their head back on their shoulders. Haha, funny. And he's going to do their force-empowered rend. That is going to be...
Is that an
this
action?
Plus... Yeah, it's the main action. But
So
it's definitely not going to hit, even with a +5. But...
Alright. Yeah, so the reassembly of itself takes a full action. So...
Okay,
you can say that the movement...
all of that, then.
Yeah, no, so the movement can go over. Just like that, if you want him there.
Then I guess that just straight up doesn't happen. He gets repaired, and then Nick's just going to use bonus action to fake just another swing. Screw it. 17.
Okay, that misses.
Okay. Does screaming count as an action?
Screaming? No, that can just be free of whatever.
Okay,
like
Nick just screams at the top of his lungs with a shrieking crow caw for the others to hear. That's it.
Okay.
And that's it. I can't do anything
All
else.
right. And Splinter's gonna turn around and say, "So noisy. Are you trying to bring your friends to us?" He's gonna jump over and try to attack Sir Thomas again.
Oh, fun. I don't have my reaction.
Does
After this first round of combat, could I have heard anything in the forest? Yells, Nick's yelling or something?
At this point, you'd hear Nick's yelling, so I can add you guys to the thing. I'm gonna say it's gonna take
Whoever
you 2
would
turns to get
want
there.
to join.
Yeah, I would
it'd be nice if you guys could
immediately use thaumaturgy and yell towards the camp to alert 2 arms.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your individual initiatives, but it's going to be 2 rounds before you guys get there.
Natural 20.
What did he roll in order to get here, or like attack me?
He rolled a 24.
Yeah, no, that hits. How much damage am I taking?
Well, let's see.
Please don't
Let
be
me,
high.
let me get to here.
Well, hold up.
Oh wait, hold on. What are you cooking with?
I'm just checking to see something.
Yeah, you let me. I'm gonna tell you this. You don't want it to land.
Yeah.
This is not meant. This is not meant to be a
deflect
fight you
attack.
guys want to fight.
We're doing a deflect attack with reaction, so roll again at disadvantage. Just roll one more die.
So you got a 16.
16 still hits me. It's plus 10. That's horrible, dude.
Yeah, like this is not a fight you guys want.
Oh, good to know.
The initiative for Lilliath and Malia, if you guys are joining the fight.
Well, if this is not a fight we're supposed to be fighting,
The idea is that you guys should probably try to get out of there and run. But what would reasonably be happening here is, you know, the fight has started. So your characters would react and try to move in the direction of whatever the call was.
Should I roll initiative now?
Yes.
6.
Okay. Alright. So, Splinter is going to end up doing... let's see. 2 of those, plus 5.
Plus 5.
So
13
18 damage.
Oh.
It's gonna be...
Ouch, dude.
So... 14 of that is slashing, and 4 of that is psychic.
Okay. Do I have resistances to anything? I don't think I do.
I don't think you do.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
Yeah.
I don't think I have that at all.
And as he, does this attack, he says, "Now tell us where she is, and perhaps I will let you live."
Sir Thomas is gonna spin his face and he's simply gonna say, "You don't know who you speak of. I don't even know the bitch. Whoever you're talking about, please leave. Before I do something worse." He says as he's now panting, blood and spit, doing his best to try to savor his strength to try to do something.
Okay. Then Husk at this point is going to try to attack Nick. And Nick, you see that Thomas got pretty hurt by this last attack. And Husk is going to try to attack you with a 27 to hit.
Okay, roll at disadvantage again.
Okay. It's going to be a 10.
Yes. That's not it.
And Malia's first round goes through. Twigs is going to...
is because I have bonus action dash and movement dash and everything, am I able to get there sooner than the others?
I will say that you can end up right there on the border of the map, right where your token is currently standing.
All right.
Does that work?
Well, yeah, I would be able to take an attack right there if I'm
Sure.
able to.
Yeah, you can go ahead and take an attack.
Because it's right at 80 feet. So I don't know what's going on, but yeah. This is at Splinter because he's the closest.
You need help. I'm dying.
20?
Yeah, that lands. Which one are you hitting?
Splinter.
Okay.
So 7 regular damage and 8 additional sneak attack damage.
Okay. And he's gonna.
Thank you.
And his head's gonna spin around, and he's gonna be glaring at you, and you're gonna see his mouth open. It's gonna start shooting out clicks, almost like it's command.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this, man. I'm getting beat up by trees. This isn't Minecraft at all.
Bruh.
So.
But because I used my bonus action to dash and everything to get in there, thank you. It's just like I have a lot of movement, so.
Let's see. Let me see how far this thing can walk. Yeah. So this thing is only going to be able to go 30 feet. So it's going to go to right here. As it's looking at you, Malia. And let's see. Yep, and that's going to be it. Then now it is Sir Thomas's turn. You got slashed pretty bad.
Yeah. Seeing as he was just slashed and how things are looking bad and his group just came up, did he notice that everybody came up from the arrow shot?
Well, you saw Splinter's head spin around. You can imagine that. You know, you saw him get impacted with something. You imagine that it was an arrow.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the last remaining charge of my flask as a bonus action, expend a focus point, and I'm going to use that focus point in order to use Flurry of Blows. Okay? I'm going to use them on Splinter, both of them.
Okay. And because his head is spin around, I will let you have advantage on it.
Okay, on each attack, sweet. 17 or 6? Does a 17 connect?
17 does not connect.
Okay, next series of them. That was almost a 19, dude. Really? Wow, okay, well.
None of those connected.
I still have disengage, though. Still have disengage. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my main action. I'm going to quickly chug a healing potion. Let me go to my inventory. And that's going to be 2d4 plus 2, right?
Yep.
All right, cool. Let me quickly see if I could heal anything off. All right, that's going to be 8 health. I'm going to go up to 11. Since I do have disengage, that does also give me an extra 10 feet of movement speed as well as disengage, so I can run through. I'm going to look over at Nick after all of this and pretty much slamming a potion in my head. I'm going to look at him and say, we need to run now.
One thing that I will allow you to do is you could try to disrupt Orange's attempts to put his head back on.
That's actually a good idea. I have the perfect idea for that. Hold on. So I'm going to look over at Nick, right? Let's see here.
Yes.
Okay, so the party is currently about 80 feet away, right?
Yep.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. Nick, I'm grabbing you. I'm going to expend my last focus point. I'm going to use that to dash, right? I have since now used all my focus points. I'm going to grab you, right? Let me see here. Seeing as they're about 80 feet.
I could interject with this.
What? What's up?
You could absolutely just disengage and back up a little bit.
I could, yeah. Let me think. Okay,
I can probably cover you.
Okay. Well, here's what I'm going to do. Then I'm not going to expend my last focus point. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run around here, and while I'm passing him, I'm going to kick away his head.
Okay.
All the way over here.
Okay, roll a d20. I want to see how far you kick his head.
Okay. Please.
So a flat d20, it's going to kick it that many meters. So it's going to kick his head
13 meters away.
13 meters from his head. So, right, his head is currently right about there.
Sweet. And then with my remaining movement, let me see here. Since that was about, what was that? 15 feet. Okay, I still have another 35. All right, that's going to pretty much land him about here. And as he's doing this, he's going to call for Nick. Run! It is not worth it. Let's not lose our lives.
Yep. Fair enough.
Okay. And for its turn, Orange is gonna just go over here and grab his head and put it back on.
Thanks.
And the Raven, I don't know how far, if you're gonna continue to run this direction, but do you have dark vision or no?
I do. 60 feet.
Okay, so I imagine you get close enough. You see Sir Thomas running towards the camp, and you see there is a creature, something, running directly at you.
Oh no, I'm trying to
running
run
at Malia.
Group.
And it looks
I'm
like
trying
that.
to run towards them.
And I suppose just send this to. That's roughly what it looks like.
Oh, interesting.
And now we're going back to Nick and Needleteeth.
Nick is going to walk away from the husk and try to mount Needleteeth. Anything happen there?
I mean, Husk could try to make an attack here.
Okay.
19.
A shield.
Okay.
Nick's just gonna jump on Needleteeth and have it do the dash action, which is going to take him 80 feet, which is plenty of distance. And zooms straight by, and with bonus action, Nick is going to try to help Sir Thomas try to maybe mount as well.
Okay.
Does he accept a hand?
Oh, Sir Thomas is going to accept anything he could get.
Okay, so you can hop on as well. Like that, and it's going to carry them the rest of the way.
Thank you. You see? Aren't you glad we're out of that dungeon? I knew I could count on you as a friend.
He says as he coughs up blood on Needleteeth.
Yeah. Sorry.
We not go at him much, but sure, we could go with that. As they're absolutely booking it away.
Okay. Well, Splinter realizes he can't really do anything. He's gonna walk here and stop. And
So he's in my vision now?
And he is within your vision. And he looks like this.
Oh. Creepy.
And he's going to make a series of clicking sounds, and you're going to see twigs kind of stop and disengage. And then Splinter's going to open his mouth. And you're going to begin to hear a song echoing through the forest as you guys, I'm assuming you group up and then you just continue to retreat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well.
Yeah. That's the idea.
Repeat bloke. Man. The things we do for friends. Nick, please tell me you hear that haunting lullaby.
Is it? Is he able
Everyone
to?
can hear it.
Building the answer yet. And he's gonna try to keep running.
And I'm assuming all of you are now just retreating out of the forest as fast as possible.
While they're running, Sir Thomas is going to light a torch, and he's going to throw it down another direction. Hopefully to, like, distract them and get them chasing Nat.
I'm also gonna cast Disguise Self and make myself look like Malia.
Don't do that. Don't take my face from me.
I've already said it.
Nick, are you the only one seeing double? I fear there might be two of them.
And all of you continue to flee throughout the entire night, and all the way until morning. And you're able to exit the forest the next day. And you all gain a point of exhaustion. But you're safely out. Oh, hang on. That's not supposed to play.
awesome. Yes. Yes.
I forgot it. It moves on to the next song afterwards. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but it does. And you're able to exit the forest with a point of exhaustion. The sun rising from the west. Sorry, the east. But it seems as though you were not followed.
Aye. Okay. I have a few words I'd like to say. First and foremost, Malia, were those your people?
No.
No, they're mine.
And Malia starts to walk away from the party.
No. You don't get out.
I will disengage. I will use my bonus action to dash. I will continue to move away from the party.
Wow. Answers we need. Okay. Well, bare minimum, Raven. Do you go by another name?
I've already said this, yes.
I fear they were looking for you. They said Lilliath, then say you may go by another name. Raven. Said they were trying to find you.
I didn't say the people that were hunting me. I saw them, and they were following us into this forest. Did none of you take my warning seriously?
Well, if I may be honest, I thought you might have been seeing things I know. Sometimes I forget the world doesn't. Or, for lack of a better term, people don't see things through my eyes all the time. Either way, it seems borrowed time has run out. Bare minimum, they know you are in at least me and Nick's company.
So that's why we were running? Because
Yes.
of assassins following her? Why didn't we end it right there?
Because it doesn't end.
Sir Thomas is gonna like gesture over to the large gash in his chest, and he's gonna say,
Well, I would have loved to, but seeing as my air supply has just been halved, I'm really struggling to think of any reason why we should have.
Nick is going to try to meekly lift a health potion to him. with a very clear, guilty expression aimed downwards.
And when you show that wound, I try to touch it, if you let me. Say, just a scratch. And cast Cure Wounds
Thank you.
to heal you for 14 hit points.
That is awesome, actually.
Damn.
That puts me like at 25.
That's absolute juice right there. Nice.
Yeah. Nick, I want you to know that was not your fault. I see it's on your
No.
face.
No, it was.
How? How was any of that your fault? You saw them. You went off. You're lucky I managed to find you. That's the only guilt you may have. That there was only us two. But other than that, I followed you. I did my best. You have nothing to be sorry for. We got information that we desperately needed. And now we know borrowed time run out, as I said before. Your people, Raven. No, you're at least in me and his company. They possibly might also know of Malia, who ran off. Malakar here. I'm not sure if they may go into the city. I'm weary of that.
And he's gonna sigh. And he's gonna shake his face. And he's gonna wipe some of the blood off his mouth, and he's gonna say,
But more importantly, we're alive. Again, thank you for saving me. Again. 3 times now. But why
I
did
didn't
Malia
say
run
yet.
off?
I just clean up one of my mistakes. Again.
We all make mistakes, but that was nothing you had to clean up. I'm going to tell you this once and one final time, Nick. Those people were out for dangerous things, okay? It is not on you for their action. Take. Be glad we were all there and we managed to get out. Simple as that. I have no grievances with you, nor should you hold any guilt. Needle teeth here probably needs to be patched.
As little trust as I might have for all of you, might have called you family once. I can't, after what I've seen, I can't see one of you dead. Not now.
I agree.
He's gonna look towards Raven.
They're after you. What do we do?
It's time we move your family.
Suppose you're right.
Time we move everything. Actually, I have a damned idea.
We still need to give this orb to Viserion.
I say we make one pit stop first. Let's talk to Songbird. Tell her we're going to join. They did talk about the safe house. We could be safe for a little while we plan where to move his family, rather than potentially risk his family get hurt in a hasty decision. We can at least plan.
Perhaps for the time being, it would be quicker to move his family to that safe house.
Right. As much as I don't want to, that's the only chance I believe we have. Malakar, Nick, any objections here?
If you think that's the best course.
Dire times call for desperate measures.
Hopefully only temporary ones. But worst comes to worst, I will shoulder their burden. Not you all. It will be me dedicating it, and hopefully that'll be enough for them. I won't see you all hurt, potentially getting roped into any schemes. Now, let's move.
So, are you guys heading the rest of the way to Stonecall?
Yes, I believe.
So, you return to Stonecall. You pass through the gates, and which direction are you heading? You gonna head Are you going straight to Lady Songbird? Are you going through the residential quarter? And if so, is Nick wanting to go make a visit to the slums? What exactly is the plan?
I will go to Lady Songbird. Here, hold on.
Everyone, Nick, gather your family. Raven, go with him. Malakar, come with me. We're going to Lady Songbird. Raven, while you have a second, drop that squirrel. Do this as quick and easy as possible. Go in groups. Safer that way.
Alright, and where did Malia go during this?
Malia has been, I rolled for it, stealthing close by. And after hearing Sir Thomas's directions, with no care for her, she's just going to go to the inn.
Alright. Okay. So it's going to be Sir Thomas and who?
Malakar.
Malakar? You guys are going to Lady Songbird?
Yes.
Okay, and Raven and Nick, where are you off to?
I'll just say Nick goes to the slums and tries to rally up everybody. I'm sorry, I think I might need to call it here for the night.
Okay. Yeah, we can just yeah.
Lilliath will be joining Nick in that.
All right. We can.
Are you guys planning to do something together? Because just group-wise, safety-wise, I would have suggested that I go with Malia and she can disguise herself as me, and we would just look like two clerics.
Well, yeah. Well, Malia was intentionally stealthing away from the party.
Sorry, I meant Raven. Because,
well,
Raven, you can disguise yourself, right?
But
Only temporarily.
So we can pick this up next week. Actually, probably not next week, because next week I got my anniversary stuff for my business. So, so we're gonna be skipping next week, and we'll be picking up the week afterwards. But for now, I think this is a good place to stop, and we will go. I'm gonna hit the stop stream button now.